Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jules and I have JT with me today and we are going through our Spotify Wrapped. It took me so long to figure out how the heck to do this, so hopefully it works because you can't do it on your desktop, only the phone. So here we go. I'm going to live react to my Spotify Wrapped, which I have waited to open until now. I'm a bit tired because unfortunately my reaction's not going to be all that genuine because I filmed this already with the sound on, which I'm going to have to shut off because it's just going to take out all the audio that I did. So I'm going to do this again like an actor. I'm going to be honest about that because I'm autistic and I like to be honest. So sorry, it's not going to be as much of my genuine reaction. I deal with enough dissociation that perhaps I just won't remember. Hi there, it's that time of year again. Wraps ready, are you? Yes, I am. You listened to 11,846 minutes this year, which puts you in the top 29% of listeners worldwide. Yes, because I have extreme sensory issues that have been made worse because of chronic illness. So I can only listen to music certain days and at certain points in the day. I listen to it a lot in the morning if I do my makeup or if I'm getting breakfast ready or something like that. But I'm still proud of how much music I listen to regardless. That's still pretty cool. My top song was I Wish You Cheated by Alexander Stewart, and it's not shade to anything that's happened to me recently. Thank goodness me and Dave are all good and committed and loyal and all those things. I just loved Alexander Stewart and I got very, very, very hyper fixated on him earlier in the year when I found his music through YouTube. I was just hooked by his vocals, the production, the emotion in the songs and everything like that. And I am not surprised that I'm in the top 0.05% of listeners according to this. That just shows how much I had him on repeat and I was just stimming my life away. The top songs, I have all Alexander Stewart songs and then luckily something different with a Jack the Underdog song, which I'm very happy about because I really, really loved Jack the Underdog this year. If you haven't seen my previous video, I got into Swemo because of Jack the Underdog. I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan. I'm sorry, I'm not. But the Swemo, I do like the pop punk covers, and specifically the ones Jack the Underdog does with features from their friends. They are wonderful. But Last Day on Earth is just such a good song. And especially, I listened to that song a ton after the election. If you know, you know, because Jack the Underdog wrote lyrics about this pretty much. You've changed and so has your listening. Let's look at your 2024 music evolution. All right. February was your breakup lyrical dance phase. You were really into artists like Alexander Stewart and Natalie Jane and Billie Eilish. And Alexander Stewart and Natalie Jane are friends, so that makes sense. They're also very talented pop singers, and I think their music's wonderful. And you will see later on that a Natalie Jane song makes it into my top songs of 2024, as does a Billie Eilish song. I believe it's What Was I Made For? And I also got into Billie Eilish this year. I'm not like super into her. Like she's so talented, so great. Love watching little YouTube clips about her and her personality. She's wise beyond her years, which feels like a trauma-based compliment, so I need a better one for Billie Eilish to not hurt her feelings. June was your mall goth, rock-ish pop punk season. You were all but artists like Jack the Underdog, All Time Low, and Waterparks. Oh yes, I was, because I've been listening to All Time Low since I was a teenager, and I've been listening to Waterparks since 2016, 18, I don't know, somewhere in that realm. A long time, not as long as All Time Low, but a long time. And Waterparks is my favorite band. They are. I mean, I have to think about that more these days, but I still think they're my favorite band. And All Time Low, of course, I joke, is my favorite band of all time. But I love the Jack the Underdog. And you know, as an ADHDer, if you're like, okay, I've listened to enough Jack the Underdog and repeat, there he is, making a new song, collabing with someone new, working on a new song, doing another cover. So there's always something new for you to listen to. And that's what I love. It just never gets old because Jack's always putting on new music, and good for them. I freaking love it. September was your mellow rock throwback pop indie tronica moment. You were big on artists like Owl City, The Postal Service, and Crystal Castles. I love Owl City. Okay, I am a hoot owl. I am in the Owl City subreddit. I found my old Owl City band tee and it says I'm a real hoot and I wear it, okay? I met Adam Young in 2009. I love that man with every fiber of my being. Love Owl City. I love the way Owl City's music makes me feel. The nostalgia brings back for me. I've seen Adam in concert twice and just is such a beautiful memory for me, and his music just makes me feel so happy and alive, and I am so grateful for Owl City, and I got very back into Owl City in September, as this says. I do remember that. Also, of course, I like Death Cab for Cutie. I have for many years, so why wouldn't I like the Postal Service? And Crystal Castles was my EDM days, like when I was at the concerts and all of that stuff, because I went to those shows and was having a little bit of fun. Feel bad for Alice Glass, though. Some rough stuff there, definitely. But Crystal Castles is a very nostalgic band to me. They're very important to me. I didn't realize I listened to them that much in September, but I was going back to the past in September. Guess I'll have to talk to my therapist about that one. Next, Alexander Stewart, no surprise here, was your top artist of the year. You were a top 0.5% fan, and you spent 946 minutes together. And we will spend so many more minutes together, Alexander. I'll be right there. That sounds so creepy. All right, my top artists are Alexander Stewart, Jack the Underdog, All Time Low, Waterparks, and Dayseeker, which just shows my music taste variety in genre. I love pop music, I love pop punk music, and I love metalcore. So I am in pop rock as well, because Waterparks fits a bit more into pop rock than pop punk, but Austin's got some punk elements going on occasion. He does, especially on Double Dare. But I love Waterparks. Love Waterparks. Have always loved All Time Low, and especially Remembering Sunday with Lisa Gaskarth featured on it. She's amazing. She is so talented. I did not know that Alex Gaskarth's wife could sing on Remembering Sunday like that. JT had to turn around for a second because it's just so humbling. Like, what a talent. And I love Dayseeker. Dayseeker is probably my favorite metalcore band right now because I love Roy Rodriguez. I love everything he features on. I love some of the features that have come up with him in my Spotify recently, like Landmarks and Green City Drive. He did a song with them, Medicate Me. That's a really good song. No way. We got a little video.
Hey you guys, Alexander here. I am just on tour right now in Calgary. But I just want to say thank you so much for listening to my music this year. I also want to say, if I'm on your raft, my music is quite sad. So if you're going through it, please hang in there. Please reach out to friends and family because you were so loved. You were so loved.
Don't worry.
So many shows coming up, so many tours, so much new music. I'm so excited. Love you guys. Bye.
Don't worry, Alexander Stewart. I go to therapy now, and I'm learning to talk about my feelings instead of just putting your songs in repeat and pretending I'm fine. Thanks for coming along for the ride until we meet again. I am so happy with my react, and I'm tired because I was supposed to do this morning when I was caffeinated and be all wow, yay, reacting, but instead I'm just talking fast from the leftover coffee, and I don't have that heart in me that can do a really wowzers reaction, but I'm happy with it. One thing I did want to see was my top 50 song list. I think I'm just going to look through that manually because that was very hard for me to figure out how to set up, but I'm proud that I did. After my top 5 that you already saw, Safe and Sound by Point North, which I loved Point North this year. And that song also features The Ghost Inside. Point North is a really cool band. I remember I showed a song by them to my partner and he's like, oh, I didn't expect Kellen Quinn to be not singing and be like kind of rapping. And I was like, oh yeah, like they're that kind of style. And yes, the Kellen Quinn feature is probably gonna be on here. Me Against Myself by Wage War. Yes, I loved that song this year. It's really good. Wage War is great. Cautious by Emarosa. I actually really like that song because of my partner Dave. He's played that song a million times for me and I love it. It's so pop leaning and fun. FFF by Jack the Underdog, which is FUCK, Fake Friends. Love that song. Very valid song in my life. House of Cards by Alexander Stewart. Allergic by Clyde. Again, very into pop this year. That was a good song. Jaded by Spirit Box. I loved that song. I didn't like everything on that Spirit Box EP. It was just okay, but Jaded was good, so it belongs here. And then I have more Jack the Underdog songs. Alexander Stewart. Sleepwalking by All Time Low. Yes, that was my favorite song on Tell Me I'm Alive, so that would make a lot of sense why that would also be on here. Gasoline by Point North. That was a song that came up on my Spotify playlist this year that got me into Point North. Like that song is just so catchy and so good and just makes me and JT really happy. I got into this band. It was funny, Dave mentioned that he was into them and they were just on my Spotify too. This is the song Gray Out by the band Throne. It's a really good song and Throne's really good. I'm on the like emotional side of music and how does it make me feel and can I stim to it, and Dave's like, the production is so good. He's a musician, so he's the audio production guy and he was info dumping to me about that. But we both like Throne. Safe Bet by Blues on this. Angels Like You by Miley Cyrus is on this. That was in a lot of my pop playlists this year, and Miley Cyrus is very talented. That was an awesome song. Erased by Volumes, that makes sense, that's on here. That's a song that I put on a playlist for my partner for Valentine's Day one year that he liked, and that is a very good Volumes song. I also have Stay with Justin Bieber, The Kid Laroi, and Justin Bieber. Okay, I'm gonna explain why I love that song. I don't even love that specific song. I watched that clip on YouTube of Justin Bieber drunkenly singing that song, like leaning over the barricade, over and over and over as a stim, like 50 times in a row, just like over and over and over. It is the most regulating, relaxing thing to watch his live performance of that, and the fact that he can sing like that drunk, like, it's just out of this world. I grew a very strong love for Justin Bieber this year, which is cool because one of Dave's friends really loves Justin Bieber, and again, I really liked pop music this year. Ultraviolet by Silverstein. I've always loved Silverstein. I've been listening to Silverstein since I was in high school, and when Silverstein puts out good music, it's always good. They're just good at keeping their genre but changing things slightly stylistically in a way where they're not veering off from what they already do, but they're still making changes, so you're not like, it's the same old Silverstein. It's always something different, but not too different where it throws you off. I also have Already Numb by Dayseeker. Love Dayseeker so much. Funeral Grey by Waterparks. I did not like Intellectual Property, which I've talked about on here, but I did like Funeral Grey, one of the singles from Intellectual Property. October by Alexander Stewart. Eternity Leave by Makari. I love Andy Cizek. I love that man. He is autistic. He is part of the community. Andy, you are a beautiful musician and person, and you are so freaking talented in a million different bands. I like Makari. I like Wander. He's just in so many good projects, and Dave really likes him too. We've definitely listened to a lot of his music together. I have another Jack the Underdog song, and Meds by The Used, which Dave got me into. This is another one that Dave was like, oh, did you know The Used put out like a new EP? And I like that song a lot. The Used is similar to Silverstein to me. Been listening to them a long time, but they still have their vibe. And they've been around for a really long time. So to me, that is so cool that they still have their vibe. I have Doomsday by Architects. Like, come on. Boom. Like, I can hear the whole song playing in my head. Like, Architects, oh, so stimmy. So good. You're gonna laugh. But another song on here is You and Me by Lifehouse. That is a very old school, back in the day song that just came up on a playlist, and I knew all the words, even though I hadn't heard it in many years or even thought about it. And I love when that happens. So I listened to that song a lot, and it started to keep coming up on playlists. I kind of let Spotify's AI control my life and what I listen to because I hate making decisions. So that was a very useful feature for me. We also have Live, Laugh, Lobotomy by Jack the Underdog. Oh, and I really liked this song, Love You a Little with Taking Back Sunday. So it had Charlotte Sands, Taking Back Sunday, and The Maine. I really liked some of the songs by The Maine this year, but this was a really fun feature. I know I've heard Taking Back Sunday is not good live, and I'm not super into Taking Back Sunday, but this feature was good and really fun song. Rocket Science by Vault Boy is another pop song. I just really like it. Maybe it's not rocket science. It's so fun. I'm just singing for fun. I'm not trying to sound good. Thank you, words. Backwards by Alexander Stewart. Scared of You, which is Jack the Underdog and Glimmers and a couple other people I can't read. I started listening to A Day to Remember again, so I have some A Day to Remember songs on here. Another pop song I really liked is John Mayer, New Light. Yep, loved that song. Great song. I'm having the OCD about the cancel stuff today, but I'm going to move forward to a non-canceled, which is Punk Rock Princess by Something Corporate. That song is so good. Like, what in the world? Why was I not into Something Corporate when I was younger? I knew about them. I had them downloaded on my iTunes. I loved Jack's Mannequin, but I did not listen to much of Something Corporate, and I wish I did because I listen to them now, and they're so, so, so good. I also love the Jack the Underdog covers, so I have one of those, and one of my parts really likes the song Give Your Heart a Break by Demi Lovato. Again, it was a pop music year, so that's on here. I finally got a little bit into Bad Omens, so Like a Villain by Bad Omens is on here. You know I love Movements. I think I have a video reviewing a Movements album on here, and Panic by Movements is on here. How fitting for me and JT. Maybe I have to giggle at myself, but I do like new Avril Lavigne. I love Avril Lavigne. How can I not? I'm an elder emo, and she's an even more elder emo, even though she looks younger than me because she's freaking beautiful and awesome. But I love the song I'm a Mess with Youngblood. I don't listen to Youngblood's music, but maybe I should because I really like his feature on that, and it's really sweet. It's a nice one. Now I'm thinking about how Youngblood dated Halsey. Moving forward, Wish You the Best by Louis Capaldi, I'm sorry to super fans who I said his name wrong. I don't know a lot about him. I just know that song's awesome, and he's really talented. And here's a song I was talking about earlier, Into the Dark, featuring Kellen Quinn by Point North. Very good song. Relapse by Wage War again. Fake as Hell with All Time Low and Avril Lavigne. I loved it. I don't care how cheesy and corny or immature you think it is. They're still honoring their teen parts, and so am I. I have a Justin Bieber song, Ghost. I love that song. Knowing You Exist by Alexander Stewart. I'd Be Fine If I Never Saw You Again by All Time Low, which is from Tell Me I'm Alive, because I listened to that a ton, Tell Me I'm Alive, earlier this year. Homesick by Dayseeker. Broken by You by Alexander Stewart. There we go. I knew a Halsey song would finally be on here. I did get really into Halsey this year, so I have Without Me. That song is so good. Okay, I got into Halsey because I like her music, but I also like that she's very open about chronic illness, and I deal with some similar chronic illness stuff to her, so I watched the entire interview with like her doctor. That was a podcast, and it was really good, and she was very open and honest about things, and I don't know how she's survived everything she has, but she's cool. I like her now. And again, pop music. Calm Down by All Time Low is probably one of my favorite songs ever. That's my anthem, because when people say that to you, they're not usually caring that you're feeling better. As Jefferson Fisher, the trial attorney who makes YouTube shorts about communication, would say, someone says, calm down, you say, for me or for you? Yep. So that song really gets at that. Funny enough, I really don't like Machine Gun Kelly. Really don't. But I tolerate him in the song Boys Lie, which is on my top 50 with Avril Lavigne and MGK. Because it's just good, and it's emo, and I don't like MGK on his own, but the feature, he did good. I'll give him that. This song is so good. This is Dark Bloom, but this is the version with We Came as Romans and Brand of Sacrifice, and Brand of Sacrifice is very heavy. My partner loves them, and that song's so good. I have Passenger by Boston Manor. I love that song. Boston Manor is a very talented band. I have an old Waterpark song, I'm a Natural Blue. I really got into like older like Waterparks EPs this year. I also have Intrusive Thoughts by Natalie Jane. Again, I did listen to her a little bit because of Alexander Stewart, and that song's so, I can't even sing along to it because her vocal range is just like out of the park, like can't keep up. I have a Wage War song, True Colors, In Violet by Grayscale, which I really like and listen to often, and Me, Myself, and I by 5 Seconds of Summer. Again, going back to the pop music, we have Deep End by I Prevail. Very good song. I actually made a reel with that song when I was closing up my office when I left my career. It was like a really sad thing, but whatever. Killer by Stand Atlantic. Stand Atlantic's great. There's a Wander song, Counterpart. Gotta have Andy Cizek on here more than once. All This Time by The Story So Far. I wasn't super into The Story So Far's new album as a whole, but I did like the single All This Time, obviously, by it being here. Transient by Makari. Again, the really acoustic version of that song is also wonderful. I have East Side with Halsey and Khalid. That's a really great song. I just saw so many clips of it on YouTube. I was like, okay, I'll listen. And I think that's how I got into Halsey. I kept getting clips of her on YouTube. That's how I got into Sabrina Carpenter too. So they're doing the algorithm marketing correctly. I have Broken by The Devil Wears Prada. I loved that album. I think I made a video reviewing that TDWP album at one point. I have Care by Dance Gavin Dance. Of course I still love Dance Gavin Dance. That's one of my partner's favorite bands. Finally by Halsey. I showed my mom that song. That's a beautiful song as well, but everything she does, she's great. Riptide by Beartooth. I'm not big into Caleb Shomore or Beartooth in general, but I like him featured on stuff. However, I did like that song earlier this year. Going to more old school, I'm With You by Avril Lavigne takes me back, makes me feel like I'm in middle school, like I'm that old, man, like not even high school, I'm in middle school. Then I have Crying While You're Dancing by Dayseeker, Kiss Me Again with We Are the In Crowd featuring Alex Gaskarth of All Time Low, who I love, of course, A Part of Me by Neck Deep, Like I Do by Rain City Drive, Chronically Cautious by Braden Bales, Loveless Generation, which is a feature of a bunch of different people that are on a similar record label or project to Jack the Underdog. Ooh, In Another Life is on here by Crown the Empire, which features Courtney LaPlante of Spiritbox. That song's really good. Of course, Courtney does great features. She's Courtney. She does great everything. I also have Sleep Talk by Dayseeker, Big Blind by The Story So Far, so the other single from the album that I liked, their newest album. My Curse by Killswitch. My partner plays on a guitar all the time, so that's why that's on here. And Black Sheep by Crown the Empire, which is also a good song. Those are my top songs, and I'm really pleased with this and reacting live with you all, and it was nice to just chill out with you and JT and sit down and chill and talk about music. So I'm going to stop rambling there, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, all.